Okay, so I just got done reading the very first chapter of Dr. Stone, which is a brand new manga that has surfaced in the manga world. And this brand new manga is done by two manga authors. The writer of Eyeshield 21, which is a football anime or manga, and we also have the artist of Sunken Rock, which, if you have seen, the pages for that manga, the pages are very detailed and actually look really, really good. So, what is Dr. Stone about? So basically, this manga's premise is the restoration of humanity. Humanity has to be restored because apparently everyone has turned to stone from this event that has occurred out of nowhere. Now, the only thing that I would agree on when it comes to other people's opinions on this manga is that the characters are pretty lackluster. There's actually two main characters within this manga, and we will see more of them as the series goes on. But when it comes to the characters, they're, I don't know, they're run-of-the-mill sort of characters. I really don't know how to describe it, but they are very lackluster. We don't really have a good introduction to these characters, and we don't really have some sort of backstory to give them more characterization, but we can probably expect that later down the line. But they really didn't have a good introduction when it comes to this very first chapter. Okay, so this story takes off where we see that one of the main characters actually proposes his feelings to a girl that he has always liked. And immediately as this is happening, we have this huge beam that just appears out of nowhere. And actually, it almost looks like a crater was freaking imploded in the earth. Almost like a meteor, so to speak, has just crash landed on the earth. And suddenly, it causes everyone to turn to stone, including the two main characters. Well, at least one of them. Now, we don't know where this, I guess you would say, virus has come from to turn, all of these people to stone, including, just making the whole environment on the earth completely decimated. I mean, you have, people in planes turning to stone, and the planes crash into buildings. Some of the people actually, just break entirely after being turned to stone, which ends up causing them to die. And just a lot of stuff ends up going about in which there is basically the downfall of humanity. Now, it seems to a certain extent that at least when it comes to our main character and at least some of the side characters as well that we saw in some of the panels, that apparently while they are turned to stone, they have some form of conscience. They can actually, think about what's going on. Some of them are even saying, I'm not ready to die yet, blah, 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 blah. So we knew that it's kind of like being frozen, for example. Like in some of the movies that we have probably seen in other literature, we have seen that apparently while the person might be frozen or turned to stone, they at least have some form of conscience in which they can still, think about things that are going on in their mind. So now humanity has been completely decimated by this, impact that has now undergone in society, and even causes thousands of years to pass by while the main character is actually still turned to stone. And finally, because of the fact that 1,000 or 2,000 years have passed, the main character is actually able to break out of his shell, so to speak. And I guess this is kind of like symbolism as to basically, resurrect, so to speak. Resurrect the person, that has now been living on for thousands and thousands of years, but now it is time to actually break out of his shell and, has the motivation to now completely cleanse humanity, completely just, try to form civilization again. And we also see that the other main character is also, shown at the end of the manga, that apparently he is still alive as well. And he is also, telling the other character, declaring to him that I also have the same motivation as you. I want to, cleanse this world to what it is now and just restore humanity as we know it. Now, of course, the other main character, has this motivation in order to restore civilization to what it once was and to find out the cause of this, because simply, if he were to do this, he would help out other people, but mainly he wants to help out the girl that he proposed his feelings to. Now, there was actually a few scenes that I actually really liked in the last few pages of the manga chapter, and that was when, the first main character actually breaks out of his shell and starts walking in the forest. All these grassy plains that have now sprouted about, at which, point was filled with streets and buildings and such. He's completely naked, just wandering the whole city. And this scene reminded me so much of Adam and Eve from the Bible. Like, this scene, I was like, you know what? Yo, this looks a lot like, Adam and Eve. Just what has been going on. That's immediately what I thought. And apparently, the second main character is, I guess the other Adam, or Eve, okay, so to speak. And it's gonna take the two of them in order to restore humanity. So I guess in a way, they have to find out the devil that has caused this and to reverse what happened to society. Now, my first impression on the guy with the spiky hair that we see, one of the secondary main characters, apparently he is a very knowledgeable guy, especially when it comes to chemistry. He always does this potion. He even states to the other main character that, here, try this potion out, because this will make you like 1 billion times better when it comes to your love for your love interest, so to speak. And, obviously the main character rejects it, but the main point of what I'm trying to get at here is that this guy is very knowledgeable when it comes to chemistry and potions and such. Now, immediately after I knew that, from the very first impression of what I got from him in this chapter, is that maybe he was actually the cause of this, downfall of humanity, so to speak. Now, I can be completely wrong, because there are some, scenes in which I was, starting to doubt that, it really can't be him. And one of the things is that, because of the fact that this, explosion that just happened somehow, in which it turned everyone to stone, happened very far off from where, they were from. So if they were at the school and this, event just happened on the other side of the planet, then that would be a little bit contradictory, that wouldn't make much sense. So really, the guy with the spiky hair, the scientist dude, was not really the cause, because if it was the cause, the event would happen right then and there. That would be where everything started, but the event started all the way to the other side of the planet. So he can't really, I guess, be, the person who actually caused all this. But there is some type of individual or thing that has caused this event to happen, but we really do not know as of right now. We have no clue. But obviously, that's what makes the adventure of this manga series, this sci-fi sort of series. So, yeah. When it comes to my overall impressions of this manga, I say that, it does have potential. It really does. Will it be good? I have no idea. I want it to be good, but first I want to see, what happens with these characters, because as of right now, we don't really have a lot from them, we really don't see a lot of things that they're really going for. They're kind of stale. The only sort of thing that I would say good about these characters as to what they have right now is their motivations. Their motivations is to basically, just restore humanity in general. But, yeah, other than that, I think that's really all I have bad to say about this series, as of right now at least. But definitely when it comes to this first chapter, this chapter definitely has potential to possibly even be something big. So, I'm digging it so far. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you have checked out this manga. It's called Dr. Stone, and if you want to look that up, tell me your overall feelings as to what you thought about this chapter. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Where do you think this series is going to lead down the road? Do you think it has potential? Just let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all in the next one.